Hi everyone! So today we are now at our fifth Sunday of Lent. We're also in the week before Palm Sunday. And so the Gospel of today comes from John 20 to 33. When I read the Gospel, the fragment that struck me the most was when Jesus said, "Unless a grain of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains just a grain of wheat. But if it dies, it produces much fruit." For me, Jesus reminds us the great paradox in life. He is reminding us that life comes through death, which is true because a seed cannot grow if it does not fall into the ground. A seed cannot bear fruit if it is not planted on the ground. But it is also true that the most painful and darkest life of the seed is the hour when it dies. Because in that hour is when the seed is suffering, is when that seed is in pain. But it is also when life is born. So Jesus is trying to tell us that suffering is a part of life. The suffering is a necessity in life because without suffering, we cannot grow, we cannot learn. That's why we have to suffer. But as human as we are, when faced in the midst of trial, when with problems, with suffering, we tend to cower away. We tend to run away from that suffering because we know that suffering gives us pain. We know that suffering hurts us, but we don't want to get hurt. So that's why instead, we sometimes seek refuge in the worldly and material things that the world offers, that we embrace and we seek comfort in it. But the Lord does not want that. He wants us to seek refuge and comfort through his glory, through his guidance, through his presence. Because it is only him who can guide us in our suffering. He wants us to suffer because he wants us to grow. He wants us to learn. That's why he is always there when we are faced with suffering. He's always there to lighten our burdens. He is always there to heal our scars. He is always there to listen and understand our pain. Which is so beautiful because we grow by dying. We have to die first in order to grow. And that's what Jesus wants us to see and know and understand. Another beautiful thing about suffering is that after suffering through time, it bears so much fruit. We learn things from suffering, and that bears fruit. And that fruit we can share to others. And that is a really beautiful thing because the meaning of life is not to preserve it, but to give it away. It is to share it to others. Just like how Jesus nailed himself to the cross and died. And look at that. After it bared so much fruit. So I invite you to allow that grain of wheat to fall into your life. Allow yourself to suffer, allow yourself to learn, so it becomes something new that you can share to others.